Let me guess. You stepped on the scale this morning, and it instantly messed with your mood. You ate perfect yesterday, worked out, drank water, went to bed early, and the scale still went up. Or maybe it didn't move at all, which somehow feels even worse. And in that moment, you start thinking, what's the point? Nothing works for me. Here's the truth. The scale can make you quit a plan that's actually working. It's one of the most common reasons people lose momentum. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because they're using the wrong scoreboard. Today, I'm giving you 11 reasons you should stop weighing yourself every day, and I'll show you the one simple measurement that tells you if you're actually losing dangerous belly fat, the fat that matters most for your health. Stick with me, because reason number 7 is the one that tricks the most disciplined people into giving up, even when they're doing everything right. I've worked with people trying to lose weight for decades, and I've seen the same pattern again and again. When someone hyper-focuses on the number daily, they get frustrated. That frustration turns into stress. Stress spikes cortisol, and cortisol doesn't just affect your mood, it can affect fluid balance, sleep, cravings, recovery, and your ability to stay consistent. And let's be honest about expectations. For most people, healthy fat loss is slow. 1 to 2 pounds per week is excellent. If you're younger with a great metabolism and a lot to lose, maybe you see faster changes at first. But for the average person, especially as you get older, progress is often closer to 1 pound per week. So if you expect the scale to reward you every single day, it's like checking your stock portfolio every hour and wondering why you're not rich yet. It's a long-term process, and daily weigh-ins turn it into a daily emotional roller coaster. So let's break down the 11 reasons the scale lies to you, and why daily weighing is one of the quickest ways to kill motivation. Reason number 1, water weight. When you start changing your diet, the first weight many people lose isn't fat, it's water. Your body stores carbohydrates as glycogen, and glycogen holds water. When you reduce carbs, reduce processed foods, or start eating cleaner, you can drop water quickly at the beginning, and it feels amazing. You might think, finally, something is working. Then 2 or 3 days later, the scale stops dropping, or it bumps up again, and you panic. But what happened is simple. The water drop phase ended. Fat loss is slower, and the scale is too noisy to show it day to day. Early results can be exciting, but they can also set you up for disappointment if you assume that pace will continue forever. Reason number 2, salt whiplash. One salty dinner can move the scale 1, 2, even 3 pounds overnight. Not because you gained fat, but because your body holds fluid when sodium intake jumps, especially if that salty meal also had carbs. Think restaurant food, sauces, soups, deli meats, chips, fast food. Most of it is loaded with sodium, so you wake up heavier, assume you ruined everything, and spiral when your body is just retaining water. And here's the important part. You didn't gain fat overnight. To gain 1 pound of fat, you'd need to eat roughly thousands of extra calories beyond what your body needs. That doesn't happen from one salty meal. It's almost always fluid. Reason number 3, hormones, especially for women. If you menstruate, the scale can spike from normal hormone shifts, often in the days leading up to your cycle. That's not fat gain. That's fluid changes, inflammation changes, even digestion changes. Your appetite might shift, cravings might rise, and your body might hold water. So if you weigh daily, your hormones can gaslight you every month. And the worst part is this, you'll start blaming your effort when your body is simply doing something normal. Reason number 4, stress and cortisol. This is huge. Stress can push the scale up even if you're eating less, because stress affects fluid balance, appetite, sleep, and recovery. And here's the trap. You see the scale go up, you panic, you restrict harder, you do more cardio, you sleep worse, your stress goes up again, your body holds more fluid, and now the scale goes up again. That's not a willpower problem, that's a feedback loop, and the scale is the trigger. If stepping on the scale makes you feel like you're failing, it's not a neutral tool, it's a stress device. Reason number 5, fat location matters. Not all fat is equal. The most dangerous fat is visceral fat, the fat around your organs. It's strongly linked to insulin resistance, fatty liver, heart disease risk, and metabolic issues. But here's what most people don't understand. You can lose internal fat first without seeing a dramatic scale change right away. You could be losing fat around the liver, improving organ function, and lowering health risk, while the scale barely moves. So you assume you're failing, when your body may be getting healthier where it matters most. The goal isn't lose weight to get healthy. The smarter sequence is get healthier first, and weight loss becomes easier and more sustainable. Reason number 6, muscle gain or muscle loss. The scale can't tell the difference between fat, water, muscle, and food weight. If you start eating better and strength training, you might gain muscle while losing fat. The scale can stall even even as your waist shrinks and your clothes fit better. On the flip side, crash dieting can drop weight fast, but a meaningful chunk can be muscle. Losing muscle is not the goal, because muscle supports your metabolism and your long-term results. If your progress is mostly muscle loss, you might look smaller for a moment, but you're setting yourself up for rebound weight gain later. Reason number 7, exercise swelling. This is the one that messes with disciplined people. When you work out, especially if you're new, or you return after a break, or you lift heavier than usual, your muscles experience tiny micro tears. That's normal. Your body sends fluid to repair them. So you train, do the right thing, and the scale goes up, and then people say, I worked out. Why am I heavier? Because you're inflamed and recovering temporarily. The benefit of exercise often shows up during recovery 48 to 72 hours later, not the next morning. If you let the scale judge your workouts, you'll think exercise isn't working, when it's literally doing what it's supposed to do, making you stronger and improving body composition. Reason number 8, medications. Some medications can cause fluid retention, increased appetite, or metabolic changes that affect the scale. This includes certain antidepressants, steroids, some diabetes medications, hormonal medications, and more. If this is you, don't blame your willpower. Talk to a qualified healthcare professional about options and monitoring, and focus on better progress markers than a daily weigh-in. Reason number 9, sleep. 1 week of bad sleep can crank up hunger, cravings, snacking, stress, and even reduce your ability to build muscle. When sleep is low, people tend to crave quick energy, sugary foods, salty snacks, and your decision-making gets weaker because your brain is tired. I've seen people do everything right except sleep and lose almost nothing. Then they fix sleep and suddenly progress starts. Sleep isn't a bonus, it's a foundation. If your sleep is chaotic, the scale becomes even more chaotic because your hormones are chaotic. Reason number 10, thyroid-related issues and puffiness. Some people struggle with stubborn puffy weight patterns linked with thyroid problems. If that's you, the answer isn't just eat less and run more. The root issue may require proper medical evaluation, labs, and a targeted plan. And this is another reason the scale is so cruel, because it can make you feel like it's your fault when it may be physiology that needs support. Reason number 11, digestion, constipation, and food volume. Let's keep it real. If digestion slows down, the scale can rise because there's literally more material sitting in your system. Some people also add tons of fiber too quickly and end up bloated and backed up, or they're dehydrated, stressed, and not moving enough. That isn't fat gain, that's timing and digestion. And if you weigh every day, you'll interpret that as I'm getting fatter, when it's simply your body not clearing waste efficiently. So if the scale is unreliable, what should you do instead? Here's the best simple measurement to track real progress: the waist to height ratio. Grab a tape measure. Measure your waist at belly button level, relaxed, not sucked in. Then divide that number by your height. In general, you want to move toward a ratio under 0.5, meaning your waist is less than half your height. As that number trends down over time, you can be confident you're reducing visceral fat, especially the fat stored around the midsection that's strongly connected to health risk. And here's the key: you don't measure this every day. You track it weekly or even twice per month. You're looking for a trend, not a mood. Now I'll give you 3 bonus signals that often matter more than the scale, and they keep you motivated because they reflect real changes. First, how your clothes fit. Belt notch, waist tightness, the way jeans sit, how shirts fit around your stomach. Clothes don't lie the way the scale does. Second, appetite. If you can go longer between meals without feeling desperate, it often means your body is getting better at using stored energy. When your body can access stored fuel, hunger becomes calmer and you stop feeling like you need snacks every 2 hours. Third, energy and cravings. Fewer crashes, less snack hunting, better sleep quality, better workouts. These are real-world markers that your system is improving. And now I want to give you a challenge that can completely change your results: the 14-day scale detox. For the next 14 days, put the scale away, closet, top shelf, give it to a friend, anything. The goal is to break the emotional dependence. Measure your waist once per week, not daily. Take 2 photos on day 1 and day 14, front and side, same lighting, same time of day, and focus on 3 daily wins. 1, prioritize protein and whole foods. 2, take a short walk after meals when you can. And 3, 3. Protect a consistent sleep window. Because if you want fat loss, your goal isn't to chase a number. Your goal is to build a body that burns fat without constant struggle. The scale is not a fat loss device, it's a gravity device. It measures everything: water, food, muscle, inflammation, digestion, hormones, sodium. And when you let it control your emotions, it can sabotage the exact consistency you need to win. So here's your new rule. Stop asking, what do I weigh today? And start asking, is my trend improving? Is my waist slowly shrinking? Are my cravings calmer? Is my sleep better? Do my clothes fit looser? Am I more consistent? If this hit home, comment scale detox and tell me honestly, do you weigh yourself every day? And if you want the exact step-by-step system to reduce insulin spikes, control appetite, and make fat loss feel easier, watch the next video, because I'm going to break down the plan in a simple, practical way you can actually follow.